first of all, we're going to talk about how to get your dream team of speakers today. And of course, building relationships with the speakers is a crucial part of the onboarding process. Just very quickly about myself, I'm a virtual events expert, and I've been doing that for quite a while. And I live in Vienna, as Anna said, with two gorgeous, gorgeous kids. And I'm a huge travel fanatic, even though this year I've been deprived of that and last year. But I'm really hoping to do more of it as time goes by. So, of course, we all know that the speakers make the event, right? No summit, no online conference takes place without the speakers. Otherwise, it's just a workshop or a challenge if it's just yourself, right? So why is it actually important to have the right speakers at your event? So first of all, the right speakers will draw in the right audience for yourself, and high quality speakers are really going to attract the crowd. They're going to inspire and motivate your audience, right? If you have the correct speakers, good speakers, they're really going to fire up your audience, and they're going to inspire them to take action. And that's exactly what you want. So you want for the people in the audience to really be all energized, excited, and want to take action. And it's actually best if while the presentation is going, people jump and do something else, change something in the profile, make a phone call, or do something, because that's the kind of speakers you want. And then, of course, you want the high quality content, because that enhances the experience. So I'm going to share with you my 5 key things that you need to do to onboard your dream team of speakers. So tip number 1, and something that we actually talked with Anna just before starting this session, is actually you need a plan. Of course, when you start with a summit or any type of event, you always need to plan. But when it comes to the speakers, what I often find is that certain details are overlooked. But you really have to take your time to prepare everything correctly, to think through what you need from the speakers at any point in time, right? So you need the basic info for your registration page, for your landing page, for the social media, for anything else you might need in your marketing campaign, for your website. So you need to sit down and be very precise at exactly what you need for them. What format of photographs? Do you need their emails? Do you need their websites? Do you need the social media? Because you don't want to go back and say, oh, actually, I still need this and that, because firstly, it doesn't look good. You don't look professional. And then secondly, speakers are busy people as well, right? And if you're getting high profile speakers, they're very busy people. So you don't want to bother them. So you want to take them to a place, and hopefully a speaker's place, or just a form where they can just sign up, all the information, upload all the pictures in one go, and don't think about it again. And then what also you need to think about is the requirements. So we're going to talk about it in the next point in more details, but actually what you would need from them is the content that they're providing. So do you own the content? Do they own the content? Can they share it? Can they use parts of it, right? You're allowed to use it for marketing or not. These are all the legal details, these kind of terms of conditions in your relationship with the speakers. You also have to think it through it. Even if you're friends, right? If the speaker happens to be a friend and expert, I still strongly advise you draw up a contract with them. It doesn't have to sound so formal. It can be an agreement, right? The terms of agreement between you, but you need to secure yourself and the speaker, and you need to give everybody the same level. And that takes me to tip number 2, is actually having the contract, right? So if you have a lawyer, I would advise you to do that through a lawyer, of course. For those who have international speakers all over the world, it might be difficult because you have different laws in different countries, but even putting up a terms of agreement with basic things like copyright, who has the access to information, are you allowed to take the snapshots and use it for marketing? On which channels are you going to use? So all of these details, you write it out in the contract or the terms of agreement, and then everybody feels secure. You feel secure because you will never be liable for things that you shouldn't be, right? And you have explicit rights of information and material provided by other parties. So it's really important. And again, it makes you look professional, right? So you take the event seriously. It's not just friends coming together, but you're actually producing a product that you are selling or giving for free and then selling on the back end of that. But it really uplifts your event immediately. Now, the third one I want to touch upon, and it's something that's It's been a discussion in the virtual summit world for quite a while now, and actually is the lack of diversity in some of the summits. And it doesn't come with bad intentions. Often it's just because you reach out to the people that are in your network, and very often people in your network are similar to yourself. And we forget that we actually would want to reach out to wider ranges of people, because everybody has an important message to share. Everybody has their own expertise, and if you have a diverse lineup of speakers, you also reach a wider audience, because when they look at these speakers and they see somebody similar to themselves, they say, oh, that's nice. I'm going to attend. I'm going to check it out, right? So diversity is something that you need to think about and sometimes actively seek through it. I mean, I've had the same. We had an event at the beginning of this year, and we actually had to actively seek out people that are outside of our usual network. And it was worth it, because we had amazing speakers come to our event that I wouldn't have normally reached out to. But it's just really will up-level your event and the experience of your audience for sure. Then tip number 4 is actually making sure that the people that come to your summit are the experts. And it might seem obvious, right? But sometimes we might be guilty of, oh, I'm just going to reach out to that friend or the person that I know so well, just because it's easier. And of course, onboarding speakers can be really nerve-wracking. And I can understand it, especially when it comes to influencers, to people with huge email lists. And you might be just starting out and you feel like, oh, who am I to reach out to those people, right? But you really, the quality of your event is so crucial. You as the host are responsible for it. You're responsible for the quality that you bring to your audience. So if you bring a really good lineup of experts who know what they're talking about in their fields, then it's going to make a huge difference. So think about the speakers. Are they really the experts on the topics that you want them to speak about? And of course, firstly, you select your topics and then you think about the speakers. It's great if you have somebody in your network who is an expert in the field that you require, but chances are not everybody will be, right? So you better really look for the right experts. And then what I really want to highlight is important to get to know the speakers. Check them out on social media, stalk them for a little bit, see if their message is aligned with your message, see if their presentation style is aligned with how you see the interaction between the speaker and the audience. Because if there is unity in that sense, in the sense of the message, that everybody feels it, right? So you need diversity in terms of the speakers, but the message, the personality has to match. So, and that's so important. And you really have to feel comfortable with the speaker, the way they are, their personality, thinking this is somebody great for my community. And the viewers will thank you for that. So this is a point that I really stress about a lot. So take your time to really get to know your speakers and take your time to build relationships. That's what actually the crucial part of it all is, about relationships. And Anna will definitely confirm that no event happens without relationships. And sometimes when we put on virtual events, we detach it and thinking, oh, the virtual events is a little bit different than in-person events, but it's not, because in-person events are everything about relationships. Who you know, who knows who, right? What catering, what speaker, what lighting, it's all about relationships. And I think it should be the same, and it is the same in the virtual world. It's just because we don't physically see each other, we have other means to communicate. And really take your time to get to know your speakers. Especially if you want to reach out to some of the influencers, and there it comes that you hopefully start planning things in advance. Comment on their posts, respond to the newsletters. Not many people respond to emails, right? And they'll be very thankful if you respond and give your opinion or something, or you download their freebie and say how amazing it is, or give them some feedback, give them some great ideas to start that conversation. Of course, you don't want to immediately pitch them like the next day, because that will be too obvious, right? So you want to give it a bit of time to build that relationship, but it's really going to be worthwhile, because they're going to notice you, and you're going to be feeling much more comfortable when you're going to be onboarding them. And even if they say no, right, at the time, still, they might say yes the next time, or they might refer you to somebody. They say, oh, you know what, I have this friend who is really amazing. I can't make it because I have another engagement, but they're going to refer you to somebody absolutely fantastic, and you're still going to have a great session, and you're going to have a new contact. So it's a win-win for everybody. And of course, when you are, and I'm sure we're going to talk with Anna more about it, be very specific about what you expect from your speakers when they come to your event, right? So it really has to be about this win-win relationships. So you're not there to grab the list, right? So you're not there to say, okay, I'm here, I have an email list of 0, you have an email list of 10,000, come and give me your people, right? This is not how it's going to work, right? This is a killer because people know it, right? So summits have been around for a while. Maybe this could have worked like 5 or 6 years ago, right? When people were more online, not many summits were happening, and there were many newbies on the online. But now, especially after 2020, we're all clued up, right? So we know how it works, and you really want to make sure that the relationship is good, because that's going to take you a long way, right? A good relationships with your speakers is going to take you really a long way. They're going to recommend you, right? So after summits, so many times the speakers go and give me fantastic testimonials, right, that I put everywhere. And of course, that brings me clients. They recommend me to others, and that gets me clients, right? So really do not worry about those numbers, because what is more important is the relationship that you build with the speakers, and you want it to be as beneficial for them as possible to participate. And of course, it has to be aligned with the message and with their interests, but it has to be so beneficial that they really would want to be there, would want to promote your event and be excited about it. So being genuine, being open, being very generous with the speakers will take you a long way. And of course, planning, right? So careful planning, and I've put the quote here, that by failing to prepare, you're preparing to fail. And that's so true. Really plan things in the head, know all the details, because you don't want to come back to the speakers and ask them, oh, this is what I forgot, please send me again. It looks so unprofessional, right? And things have leveled up now in the virtual world, and you want to be on top of the game. So be well prepared, be generous, be kind, and build strong relationships.